You wake up, you reach over to your nightstand and grab your phone. You check your email, scroll through your messages, and everything seems perfectly, completely normal. But beneath the surface of that glowing screen, a silent war has already been fought. And, well, unfortunately, you probably lost. Today, in this explainer, we're diving deep into the internet's biggest data leaks. We're going to look at 5 massive scandals that literally shook the foundations of our digital lives. And more importantly, we're going to uncover the hidden truths about the systems we blindly trust every single day. So, let's confront this question right off the bat, because it really taps into our deepest digital fears. I want you to imagine, just for a second, logging onto the dark web, that hidden part of the internet most of us never ever see, and finding your personal emails, your private passwords, maybe even your identity documents, just sitting there in a digital shopping cart. Imagine your entire life packaged up into a neat little zip file, just waiting for the highest bidder to click purchase. It sounds exactly like the plot of a dystopian thriller, doesn't it? But ask yourself honestly right now, is your data all ready for sale on a hacker forum? The harsh, undeniable reality? It probably already is. Your information is out there. It's been traded. It's been sold. It's been stockpiled by anonymous individuals you will never ever meet. Just let that sink in for a moment. Section 1. The unseen crisis of the digital world. A systemic failure.
Section 2. Escalating case studies of massive data breaches. History's biggest scandals. Now, we aren't just talking about a few isolated incidents of some hacker guessing a weak password. We're looking at billions of user records leaking out. Take this number, 87 million. In 2018, the whole world was rocketed by the Facebook and Cambridge Analytica scandal. 87 million users had their personal data harvested. We are talking about their likes, their private messages, their friends' networks, and their deep behavioral profiles. But here's the absolute critical part. It was done entirely without their explicit, informed consent. People thought they were just taking, fun little personality quizzes online, completely unaware that their psychological profiles were being silently extracted and organized. And the real crux of that scandal wasn't just about consumer privacy anymore. It was about global power. Was this massive trove of data just used to sell you a new pair of shoes through targeted ads? Or did it actually influence democratic elections? Now, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum or who you voted for, the objective fact is that the sheer volume of data harvested forced the entire world to ask if our digital profiles could be weaponized to shift global politics. It was a massive, massive wake-up call. But hey, if 87 million shocked you, how about 3 billion? 3 billion user accounts. This staggering number represents the Yahoo hack. To this very day, it remains the largest single data breach in the entire history of the internet. Practically anyone who used the internet during that era, anyone who had a Yahoo email, used Flickr, or even just read Yahoo News was caught in this massive net. Every single account they had on the platform was compromised. It's almost too large of a number for the human brain to really even comprehend. That's nearly half the planet's population at the time. But you know what the most shocking element was? It wasn't even the sheer size of the hack. It was the fact that it was hidden for years. That is the true betrayal of trust here. Yahoo knew their systems had been breached. They knew hackers had walked right through the digital front door. Yet this massive vulnerability was kept a total secret from the public and from the users whose data was stolen for years. It's like you were walking around with a lock on your front door that the company knew was completely broken, and they didn't say a single word to you. Section 3. When digital theft becomes real-world identity theft. The Equifax breach. All right, now we're stepping into much darker territory, because there's a massive difference between a digital world crisis, where you, say, lose an email address or a password, and a real-life crisis. When hackers go after your actual permanent legal identity, things like your social security numbers, your credit history, and your driver's license numbers, you cross a massive line. And that is exactly what happened with the credit reporting agency Equifax. It wasn't just a digital annoyance anymore. It became a severe, life-altering threat that could financially ruin a person for decades. Your actual financial DNA was suddenly out in the wild. And just when we thought the corporate world might be, learning its lesson and securing its borders, another number hit. 700 million. This was the LinkedIn leak. Suddenly, the professional records, job histories, contact networks, and private email addresses of hundreds of millions of professionals hit the dark web all at once. Now, you might be asking, why on earth does a hacker care about my resume or my job history? Well, the answer is targeted scams.
Criminals use this highly specific personal and professional data to execute customized, incredibly convincing fraud. They aren't just sending you some random spam email from a fictional prince anymore. No, they know your boss's exact name. They know exactly what project you're currently working on. They know your coworkers. They weaponize your professional network against you, making these scams highly personalized and incredibly, incredibly dangerous. Section 4. Localizing the threat. The reality of data leaks in Turkey. Are we safe? We've talked a lot about global tech giants based over in Silicon Valley, but let's bring this a bit closer to home. If you think your physical geography protects you in this boundless digital age, think again. The reality in Turkey, and honestly everywhere else, operates exactly like an iceberg. The reported leaks in the news, the rumors about government database breaches, or those local e-commerce companies that actually admit they were hacked on the evening news. Those are just a tiny, tiny sliver at the very top. The massive, dangerous reality lies hidden entirely underneath. The vast majority of stolen data flows silently in the dark, completely unnoticed and unacknowledged by the public. Section 5. The final perspective shift on data security. The biggest problem isn't getting hacked. Okay, here is the most unsettling part of this entire explainer. Ready? Hacking is actually just a symptom of a much larger design flaw. We live in a reality where constant data collection is just the norm. Every click, every swipe, every location ping, it's all logged. Hacking is simply unauthorized access to data that is already being stockpiled. The real danger isn't necessarily those hackers in the shadows, it's the fact that we've literally built a world made of honeypots. I mean, think about it. A hacker cannot steal 1 billion records in one night if a company hasn't already conveniently stockpiled 1 billion records in one massive vulnerable digital warehouse to begin with. It really forces us to confront our own illusions of comfort. Are we really safe, or do we just feel that way? We diligently change our passwords every 6 months, we turn on two-factor authentication, we use facial recognition to unlock our screens, and we feel this deep sense of security. But when the entire modern internet economy is fundamentally built on harvesting your every single move, that security, it's just an illusion. After going through this explainer together and looking at the millions and billions of records lost, you're probably going to want to pull out your phone right now and change all your passwords. And honestly, you absolutely should. But I want to leave you with a much bigger question today, one that unfortunately offers no easy comfort. If every keystroke, every private purchase, and every personal message is being recorded, stored in a data center, and inevitably breached, who really has our data right now? Think about that carefully the very next time you tap I agree.